Good morning, team. Hope everybody is well. Thanks for joining me once again. In this lesson, we're going to talk about public speaking, some of the best practices, and tips and tricks to continue your development pertaining to public speaking and just communication in general. All right, let's jump in. So whether you're presenting to a large audience or having a one-on-one conversation, public speaking is critical that you understand. However, it can be also nerve-wracking and challenging. In this video, we'll be discussing some tips and tricks to help you become a more confident and effective public speaker. Tip 1, prepare and practice. I cannot stress this enough. Public speaking and communication in general is one of the hardest things to master because the topics change, the audience changes, and the only way that you can give your best chance of success is to prepare and practice on a regular basis for all anticipated scenarios. So jumping in further into tip 1, the first tip for effective public speaking is to prepare and practice, as mentioned. This means taking the time to research your topic, organize your thoughts, and practice and deliver. Practice in front of a mirror or record yourself to identify areas of opportunity and improvement. Example, if you have an upcoming presentation or you're presenting to a small group or a large group and you are in a position to prepare, one piece of advice I'll give here as well, in the spirit of recording yourself, do that as many times as you need and listen to it again and again and make the adjustments accordingly. When I'm preparing for a speech, I am listening to how is my tone, the words I'm choosing to use, am I anticipating my audience? Am I talking too fast? Am I articulating the points in a concise way without sacrificing the punchlines? And then you record it again and you ask the same questions. You refine based on the prior recording. Then you record it again until you get to a version where you are clear, confident, concise, but also anticipating your audience and driving your key points home. Once you do that in a recording, after you record and you feel comfortable, then go in front of the mirror, because I promise you there is a difference between seeing yourself and not seeing yourself present, but it is also just as important because you are the mirror for your audience in a public speaking setting, if that makes sense. They're looking at you and seeing a reflection as you look at the mirror and see your own reflection. So it's important to not only through your communication come off clear, concise, and confident, but your demeanor, the reflection, must also possess that same level of confidence. Head up, chin up, clear tone, confident, and one way you can kind of prepare for that is through the mirror as well. So to recap, I would encourage you to record yourself and listen to it, edit, challenge yourself to drive the points home in a clear, concise, confident manner while anticipating your audience. Tip 2, engage your audience. Use eye contact, gestures, vocal variety. Make sure to look at different people in the audience and vary your tone and volume to keep their attention. The key here is you want to figure out how do you control the room and maintaining folks' attention throughout your presentation, which is an extremely hard thing to do, especially in today's society where we generally have a shorter attention span than any other time in history, I believe. So you want to be engaging. You don't want to have the monotone, same robotic approach. Your body needs to move. Your engagement through eyes, your gestures, maybe even ask them a question, ask them to raise their hand, ask them to clap or close their eyes. Just have visual and audience engagement throughout your presentation to ensure you're captivating them in a way that maintains their attention levels. Because the whole point of a presentation is how do you develop your speech or communication in a way that maximizes the level of comprehension your audience takes away. Your goal is to maintain their attention where they increase the amount of information that they retain and walk away with. Tip 3, tell stories and use examples. To make your speech more memorable and impactful, tell stories and use examples. This helps your audience relate to your message and provides concrete examples to illustrate your points. Relatability. Again, going back to how do you maintain the attention levels? Sometimes if you develop and you use stories that you believe are relatable across the majority of your audiences, that is a different way and another technique you can use. Tip 4, use visual aids. Visual aids such as slides or props can enhance your message and help your audience better understand your topic. However, Make sure not to rely too heavily on them and use them more for support as opposed to the main point of your presentation. As an example, again, the whole theme of public speaking, communication, presentation is to how do you as the presenter communicate the information in a way that your audience can understand, comprehend, and walk away with. And knowing that there are many different learning styles, and visual being one of them learning styles, it is never a bad idea. Tip 5, manage your nerves. It's normal to feel nervous before speaking in public, but it's essential to manage those nerves to preparation. How many times did you record yourself on the phone? How many edits? How many rehearsals? Did you look in the mirror 75 times before your presentation? Did you make the appropriate adjustments? All of the preparation leading up to the presentation is going to determine your level of anxiety and fear you have in the moment. You'll never remove all of your fear, nor should you. Through proper preparation, you can mitigate and remove a lot of the anxiety or fear that you normally would face, because this isn't your first or third or fifth time. Hopefully this is your 20 or 25th time rehearsing this particular speech. And when I say speech, it could be in an auditorium full of hundreds of people, or it literally can be a team meeting with your team members, 12 or 15 people. The point is, going back to square one, when speaking, you want your audience to understand your points, have the ability to digest and comprehend your points, and leave maintaining the understanding and the points you were driving during that conversation. And practice and preparation before that event will give you the best chance to do exactly that. So managing your nerves, you're never going to satisfy this completely, but there are best practices that you can lean into to mitigate and remove a lot of the anxiety and fear leading into the event. Tip 6, stay positive and confident. Right? You've heard the saying, like, attitude is a choice. With the right attitude gives you the right level of energy, and with the right level of energy, you're more inspired to prepare accordingly. If you prepare accordingly, you can remove the anxiety, and if you can remove the anxiety, you give yourself a better probability of executing with success during the public speaking event. So stay positive, have a positive attitude, have a fresh perspective, understand you're not going to be perfect, but all of the work that you did before this moment in time is going to dictate how you execute when the moment is here. Okay, let's jump into best practices and then we'll close this out. Now that we've gone over some tips for effective public speaking, let's go over some practices to keep in mind. Know your audience. Understand who you're speaking to and tailor your message to their interests and needs. Be authentic, be yourself, and speak from the heart. This will help you connect with your audience and build trust. Number 3, practice active listening. Pay attention to your audience's reactions and adjust your message accordingly. This will help you keep them engaged and interested. Be respectful. Show respect to your audience by arriving on time, dressing appropriately, and avoiding offensive language and gestures. In conclusion, we've covered some tips and techniques to help you become more confident and effective as a public speaker. Remember, practice and preparation are key. Engage your audience, tell stories, use examples, use visual aids, manage your nerves, and stay positive and confident. Thank you, team. Much appreciated. Until next time,